สวัสดีครับคุณพ่อคุณแม่วันนี้ทาง APSthai เนี่ยมีซัมเมอร์คอร์สดีๆนะครับมาแนะนำให้กับน้องๆที่มีความสนใจทางด้านอาร์ตนะครับจากโรงเรียน ISCA หลายคนเนี่ยจะเคยได้ยินชื่อโรงเรียน ISCA หรือ International School of Creative Art นะครับว่าเป็นโรงเรียนที่มีความโดดเด่นและมีชื่อเสียงนะครับในการปั้นเด็กเนี่ยเข้ามหาวิทยาลัยท็อปๆอย่าง UAL หรืออาจจะเป็น U Top ทางด้านอาร์ตนะครับอื่นๆทั่วโลกสำหรับใครเนี่ยที่ไม่รู้จักว่า ISCA เป็นโรงเรียนแบบไหนนะครับ ISCA เนี่ยตัวโรงเรียนเนี่ยก่อตั้งมาจากอาจารย์ที่จบมาจาก Central Saint Martin นะครับเป็นหนึ่งใน college ที่มีชื่อเสียงที่สุดจาก UAL นะครับความพิเศษของการเรียนที่ ISCA เนี่ยคือน้องๆจะสามารถเลือกวิชา Art ใน A-Level เนี่ยได้มากถึง2ตัวยกตัวอย่างเช่น Fine Art Graphic Communication Fashion and Textile แล้วก็ 3D and Design นะครับนอกเหนือจากการเรียนอาร์ตได้มากถึง2ตัวแล้วเนี่ยน้องๆที่มีความสนใจนะครับที่จะไปเรียนที่ Central Saint Martin นะครับทาง ISCA เนี่ยก็จะมีการสอดแทรกเนื้อหาของ Foundation นะครับหรือทักษะสกิลการทำพอร์ตโฟลิโอที่จำเป็นนะครับให้กับน้องๆนะครับเพื่อเพิ่มโอกาสในการเข้า Central Saint Martin ให้ด้วยนะครับสำหรับมีตติ้งวันนี้นะครับจะเป็นการคุยกันเรื่องรายละเอียดของ Summer Course Activity accommodation และเรื่องที่ผู้ปกครองหลายคนกำลังเป็นกังวลอย่างสถานการณ์โควิดนะครับในอังกฤษเดี๋ยวจะมี admission นะครับจากทาง ISCA นะครับมาให้คำตอบว่า policy หรือวิธีที่เขาใช้ในการจัดการกับโควิดเนี่ยเป็นยังไงบ้างนะครับเดี๋ยวเราไปเริ่มฟังกันเลยครับ
So would you just like me to talk a little bit about the summer school, what it offers, and if you have any other questions, you can ask me and Christine, and we can hopefully answer them for you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, sure. Right. So the ISCA Summer School will be taking place in July from the 11th to the 24th. So it will last for exactly 2 weeks. The ISCA Summer School essentially gives students a taster, if you will, of exactly what we do here. So we are a specialist art and design school. You know, we're very different from your traditional UK boarding schools. So we focus pretty much entirely on art and design subjects. And the summer school is no different. They will be working over the period of 2 weeks with the different subjects, which would include fashion textiles, fine art. There will also be graphic communication, some elements of 3D design in there as well. We also do some English with the students, but they're more like fun English activities. It's not like working in English textbooks or IELTS or anything like that. They are fun, productive English activities, which all the students can get involved in. We also organize different excursions into, we're taking them into trips into London, to the different galleries. You're probably aware, but London has some of the greatest art and design galleries in the world, including the Tate Modern, the V&A, the National Gallery. So there's so many different places we can take them, and we're planning on taking them. We're also planning on taking them to Windsor, where the Queen lives, so they can see Windsor Castle and, you know, the beautiful area surrounding it. And we're also potentially taking them into Oxford as well, which is not too far from the school. We are also, you know, the students would board with us as well. You know, we are a boarding school, so students would stay in the boarding accommodation here. They would also have their meals in the canteen. That would include breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They would also have access to the laundry facilities if they want to do laundry whilst they're here. And we also do extracurricular activities with them as well. In previous years, we've done different, you know, sports with them. That would include like tennis or badminton or, you know, some basketball, and, you know, they have access to the gymnasium as well. We also do different activities with them in the evening as well, which might not include sport. They might be different creative activities we would do with them. The day, it's a fairly long day, you know, they would start around about 9 o'clock in the morning, and then at 4:30 they would stop, and then they would have a quick break, and then they'd have dinner, then we do some activities with them in the evening as well. They would also have access to the common room as well, what we're hoping they'll have access to the common room. You know, we've got like, we can arrange different things for them in there as well. They would also have access to Sky TV and, you know, Nintendo and PlayStation, etc. There's also board games that they can play in there as well. And we are also hoping to organize a trip to the Central St. Martin's campus in London as well. They have done that for us in previous years, so we are hoping they will be able to accommodate us again. Luckily, the COVID COVID situation in the UK is incredibly positive at the moment. Despite the fact that there are pretty much no restrictions anymore, cases remain, stable. And those that do have COVID, they're incredibly mild symptoms. So we're in a very good place when it comes to the pandemic at the moment. Do you have any questions for me so far? They don't need to really prepare anything. Obviously, a general interest in art and design would be really beneficial for them. So they don't really necessarily need to prepare anything. They're not like full-time students in which they would need to prepare a portfolio. So if they have a general interest in art and design, if they have competent understanding of English, that's also really good. Ideally, we're looking for a 4.5 IELTS, roughly thereabouts. And it's great for students aged between 13 to 18 years old. So the only thing that they would really need to prepare is maybe some spending money. For when they go into London, they'll want to do some shopping. It's a one-off fee though. So the fee includes the full tuition and boarding, and that will include any of the trips we do into London, etc. But if they want any extra spending money, we would recommend they bring that with them. We would also recommend that they bring obviously their toiletries, some towels. If they want to bring their own bed sheets, they can, but that will also be provided. And it's also important to point out that each room has its own private bathroom and toilet as well.
It's just to let you know, it's 2 students who will be sharing one room, and actually at that age group, it's quite nice. So they're not on their own. So it is one bathroom between 2 students who will share the room. And obviously all the materials, art materials and so on, that will be provided by the school. So they don't need to bring anything. And we will also arrange the airport pickup, won't we, Thomas? Airport pickup and taking them back to the airport.
We arrange airport pickup to and from Heathrow Airport, yeah. They will get first-hand experience working with incredibly very well qualified art and design tutors that specialize in the different subjects they teach. I mean, it will be fun. They will be fun art and design activities, but they will get a glimpse of what goes into portfolio development. They will get the experience. Hopefully, they'll get the experience of going to Central St. Martin's, which is regarded as the best art and design university in the world. And they also will work with different subjects. It's not just general art and design. They will specialize in the different subjects. And they will also get a summer school certificate at the end of the program as well. So they will get a certificate as proof of them attending the program.
The same teachers who teach on the full-time A-level program will also teach on the summer program. So exactly the same tutors. The students, I don't know, they produce so much work during that course, and a lot of them will then use this as a beginning of a portfolio, to come if they wish to come back to ISCA, or they can use it for their school project. So there's an awful lot of art and design work they produce in those 2 weeks.
No, nothing like that. The students tend to make friends very quickly, particularly if you're sharing rooms with them. Some of the students already know each other before. I know students that have come from APSCA, they've sort of all known each other. So there's never been any difficulties like that. We also have some students, depending on their age, if they're 15 or 16 or 17, they end up enjoying the summer school so much that they actually want to be considered as full-time ISCA students. So I can confirm that if you do recruit any students that are thinking about joining ISCA or would like to do the summer school before they make a decision, or they join it, they love it so much and they want to apply, we can interview them at the end of the summer school with our director or our director of studies. So that option is available to them as well. COVID-19 policy. Yeah, well, of course, when students arrive on campus, they will more than likely have to take a lateral flow test when they arrive. Obviously, this is all subject to change because government guidelines at the moment is that testing is no longer a mandatory requirement. So as it stands at the moment, we would test students twice a week when they're on the summer school. if they do contract COVID-19, they would have to, I mean, you might have to step in, Christine, because you might know a bit more about it than me. They would potentially have to isolate in their rooms, but the isolation period in the UK is very short now. It's not a long period. I think it's like if you show, obviously this might change, but if you show a negative test after the fourth or fifth day, after 5 days, you can leave quarantine.
Yeah, and obviously, if we really have a student who contracts COVID, we will obviously provide some online provision for that student, so they can still participate. And we obviously make sure the students will be well looked after during that period. And
we won't just leave them in their room.
No.
And of course, we would send meals to them as well, so they'd be very well looked after. A case because since the whole pandemic started, we've only ever had one case on site, and that was dealt with immediately, and within the space of a few days everything was back to normal. So we're quite robust with how we deal with COVID-19 on the campus. We've been, obviously we followed all government guidelines, but we've also gone further with some of the with our own guidelines. So we were testing students every day at one point. So but obviously that has now relaxed. So it's a bit difficult to answer the question because I think the situation might change in a few months. Sorry, Kristen, do you need to say something?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. It's very early days. It's March. Obviously, we can't predict what's going to happen in July. But it looks like, the way things are, it's everything is easing further in all countries. So, I mean, if anything, it would be even probably more relaxed than it is now.
I understand the parents' concern, but I can almost assure you that within the UK, COVID-19, I mean, it's pretty much announced that it's over. Because we're in a totally different place from where we were not just 2 years ago, but a year ago, even a few months ago. Pretty much the entire country is now fully vaccinated. And although cases may look artificially high, it's because we still do quite a lot of testing. But even that's starting to end now. And if students anybody that I've known who has had COVID, they've been incredibly mild symptoms. So it's like a very minor cold for those who, unless you're really old or incredibly ill, which hopefully I'm not just yet, the virus really isn't at least in the UK, it's really not a serious threat anymore. So obviously we will do the 2-week testing 2 days a week, and we will act quickly and swiftly if there is a case on campus. But I think it's highly unlikely that will happen, because particularly in the summertime in the UK, even before the vaccines, the cases were really, really low, because the virus struggles more in the summer to sort of transmit from person to person. So it's an even bigger benefit for them coming in the summer.
Yeah. Because obviously people are outside and so on. And obviously it's a very safe campus environment for them. So, I mean, they're obviously not based in the middle of London. They are in the countryside on our campus. And obviously we will do trips and so on. But I mean, we obviously, bear in mind where we go. And for example, in the UK at the moment, if you go to museums, there is a cap on numbers that are allowed in, so that it's not getting crowded. So obviously we will take all precautions as much as we can. The students currently wear the staff are wearing masks here at the school, mandatory, and the students can decide whether they wish to wear masks, because the government guidelines say that students do not have to wear masks. I mean, we as staff have decided to reassure students we are all wearing masks. But what's going to happen, obviously, in the summer, whether it relaxes, if the cases are really going down a lot, it could well be that there are no mask requirement. But at the moment, the students, most of the students wear it. The staff certainly wear it.
Staff also test before they arrive on site as well.
Every day, yeah.
Every day, yeah. So that's something we could perhaps consider keeping in place for the comfort of the parents. So the staff who go off site, they do a COVID test before they come on site. And if their COVID test shows they're negative, they come on site and work. So we could probably consider keeping that in place for the summer program. Okay, great. Are you happy to leave it there?
Yeah.
Fantastic. We very much look forward to receiving some applications.
Yeah.
And if you have any other questions, feel free to give me a call or send me an email, and I'll be very happy to answer the questions for you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, team. Take care. And
Thank you very
we'll
much.
Thank
see
you
you very soon.
much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Have a lovely
Bye bye, Tira.
afternoon.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Speak
Bye-bye.
soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.